This is Dr. C. Dexter Wise III with God's top 10 commandments. Number 7, you shall not commit adultery. Exodus 20, verse 14. There is a difference between fornication and adultery. Fornication is sex between two unmarried people, and adultery is sex between two people where at least one of them is married. Of course, the Bible has prohibitions against both, but this commandment is against adultery. It doesn't matter if it happened one time or 100 times, each time is adultery. Marriage is not just a secular thing, it's a sacred thing. When you take a marriage vow, it is made to another person, but it is made before God. Hence, when you break your marriage vow, you are not only breaking a vow to another person, you are breaking that vow to God. It is amazing how people want to get married in the church at the altar by a preacher and have no concept that what they are doing and what they are saying is under God. Now, I know some of you would say, thank God I'm a Christian and I don't have to obey that Old Testament law. But be careful, because the Christian rule on adultery is even worse. Before you get so holy and think that you have never broken this commandment, don't forget what Jesus said. He said, if you look at a woman or a man to lust after her or him, you have already committed adultery in your heart. That means if you glance at a Victoria's Secret catalog and lust after the model there, you've committed adultery in your heart. If you stay up late all night looking at pornographic videos on the internet, you've committed adultery in your heart. If you spend more time watching the curves walking down the street than watching the curves of the street, then you have committed adultery in your heart. If you drool over Shamar Moore and Denzel Washington, you have committed adultery in your heart. If you can't get enough of Chippendales, you have committed adultery in your heart. If you lust after Marvin Gaye, Elvis Presley, Tom Jones, Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, Usher, P. Diddy, Jay-Z, or fill in the blanks, you have committed adultery in your heart. I guess you ask, which is worse, adultery in your heart or adultery in fact? The point is that if you committed adultery in your heart, it won't be long before you commit it in fact. So stop it within your heart before it ever gets into an act. In other words, perish the thought.